I am Rupert.
And I'm Redbeard.
This is Rupert's Beard. Today we're going to be mostly a Red show. I'm mostly making sure the camera works. And Red's going to be going over his.
My 4-0 undefeated Hannyabal deck list. First time it went out, took out 3 meta decks and a structure deck for Kaido. Went through Boa, Black Yellow Luffy, and Reiju, and that's all I've got for the preamble.
All right, why don't you tell us what Hannibal does?
So Hannyabal is an Impel Down type leader. He's 4 life, blue purple. At the end of your turn, you can return one of your Impel Down type characters with a cost 2 or more to your hand to ramp a Dawn active from your Dawn deck. Just being active is pretty good, and most of the time you're going to be bouncing a 2K or a card that you don't really want on the board anyway. Obviously, if you get an alt art, it's better than the regular. Starting off with the actual list, we've got 4 of the 2-drop jump blocker Domino. Her and the only other 2-drop in the deck, Prince Bellet, are only in here because they're both Impel Down. You want to go second in the deck and mulligan until you get either Domino or Prince Bellet. Basically, you're just going to slap them down on your turn, end of your turn, bounce it back, ramp it on. You're already ahead of your opponent. You're going second. You've already caught up. Do it multiple times. You're at 10 Dom. Your opponent's at 7. It's kind of funny sometimes. But Domino's just a jump blocker, only in there mainly because you play 4 of it, play 4 of her, 4 of Prince Bellet. She's a chump blocker. You'll sometimes keep her on the board. Prince Bellet is a 2K. You'll usually just plot. If you open him, you'll just plop him down. End of turn, bounce it. You get an active on. You get a 2K in your hand. You run 4 of them just so you want to see them going first or second, either way. Next on, since we are a Impel Down type deck that can run through that, we are playing a small Jailer Beast package. Little Sadi is a 4 of, being a 3-drop 2K. She just on play, you play a Jailer Beast character from your hand for free. It's only really you get out 7 Dawn for 3, but you're only cheating out the cost by 1 for the Jailer Beasts. The only ones really worth playing these days are going to be 4 of the Mina Koala. It's a blocker, and then like all of the Jailer Beast on KO, if your leader has the Impel Down type, which he does, you get to get a Dawn from your Dawn deck rested. Not as good as Hannibal's active ramp, but being a blocker, it means you can force your opponent to give you a Dawn, and 4-drop 5K, you can swing for lead if nothing else. Same deal with the Mina Chihuahua. He's a little bit worse just because he doesn't have a counter value, but still 4-drop 5K. He's got Rush. Same Jailer Beast on KO effect, ramp the rest of Dawn. Honestly, being able to just go for Hannibal swing, going first, if you can Hannibal swing, open up Little Sadi and a Mina Chihuahua, go in, and you play 4 on all 3 of those. Being able to swing for 5K twice on your first attacking turn and then ramp a Dawn to get a 2K back feels pretty good.
Yeah.
We're on a 2-2 split of some deck stackers. 2 of the OPO5 ulti. On play, if your leader is multicolored, you get to look at the top 3, add up to 1 card from them to your hand, put the rest on top or bottom in any order. See, the neat thing is, unlike a lot of other searchers, since it does not specify a certain type or a certain color, you don't have to show anything that you're adding. We're on 2 of her, and then 2 of X-Strike, which is just a on-play 5-drop 6K blocker. On-play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, put them on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. He doesn't net you a card, but he is a blocker, and that does come up. I've contemplated swapping the ultis out for Ace, but ulti seems to be working pretty good at the moment. Blocker Ace meaning the on-play draw 2, put 2 on top or bottom. We're running 2 Magellan. You can run 4 if you like. He's a fine card. I just like him at 2 because he gets a little bit bricky. You can bounce him back for Hannibal, but on play, Dawn -1. Let's see. On play, Dawn -1. You put one of your Dawn back to make your opponent Dawn -1. It's pretty good because you can just pop it out, put back a rested Dawn. Your opponent is now completely dumbfounded for what they're doing next turn. Their whole plan's gone. You only play 2 with him. Like I said, you can play multiple. I just prefer him at 2 because he gets kind of bricky.
Doesn't he have another effect?
Oh, yeah. And opponent's turn, just like the Jailer Beasts, he's a little bit better. It has to be on opponent's turn, but if he's KO'd, by your opponent has to return 2 Dawn from their field to their deck. So he's like a double Jailer Beast in that regard if he dies. And your leader doesn't have to be impelled down, which is kind of neat. We are on 4 of the, I think it was OPO 7 or 6? OPO 6, I believe. Either way, promo, Banish Zoro, 6-drop 7K. I only have 4 because we went to a bunch of pre-releases and won one. Basically, he's just a 6-drop 7K Banish with a counter value. even if he doesn't get to do anything because your opponent runs him over, like the next turn, or he gets red rocked, he's still being banished in a decent enough body. He's like a removal magnet some days almost. So he's getting value even if it's just soaking up another card that you want something not to take. Especially against yellow decks, they see that card and all of their resources are going to get rid of it. We're on other 6-drops. We're on 4 Inazuma. With this deck and the Jailer Beast package, and the way that the end of turn effects work on both of them, which Inazuma is a 6-drop 7k, end of your turn, if you have 2 or less cards in your hand, you just draw 2. Since they're both end of your turn, same as Hannyabal, you could say if you had this out, you can drop out a little Sadi, put out a Jailer Beast, end of turn, trigger this first while having 2 cards in hand, let you draw 2, and then you bounce the Sadi off the Hannyabal to ramp. I mean, you go from 2 to 5 cards in one process, it's pretty okay.
Yeah.
The reason we are running on some of those stacking cards is we are on our 9-drops. We're playing two of the blue Sanji. On play, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck, and play up to 1 character with a cost of 9 or less, other than Sanji, then place the rest at the bottom of the deck. So if you can stack it, even if you don't, odds are you're going to hit something. We're on a very high character count. For that very reason, we're on 2 of the 9-drop Mihawk from 01. On play, place up to 1 opponent's characters at the cost of 7 or less, bottom of the... Or no, just any character. Don't know why you'd put your own, but apparently they thought you should be able to do that. Just 7 cost or less. And then 2 of the Rush Kaido. Dawn play, Dawn -5. Blow up KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. This guy gains Rush for the turn. Going Sanji into this guy is... If you're losing the game, you may not be losing the game after that. It's a very big momentum switch. Sanji in general and Kaido both are. Mihawk's more in there for removal, but getting a free Mihawk's also pretty good. I personally don't own 2 of one of these cards. If you want to play 2 Gum Gum Rain or 2 Jet Gatling, I'm on 2 total of the 0-drops. Counter every card that has one. 0 cost, trash 1 card out of your hand. Up to 1 of your characters' leaders gets 3k power. It's just the only tooth for the color, and I didn't have 2 of the same. You can play 2 of the other. The counters don't come up that often. The only other events we've got are going to be 4 of Gum Gum Champion Rifle, coming out in EBO1, same as Hannyabal. Basically, for 1-drop, which since he ramps 1, it's a very good card to play on 4 of, because you're almost always going to have a Dawn open. Counter, if your leader has the Impel Down type, up to 1 of your leader or character cards gets 2k power during the battle. Then your opponent has to return 1 of their active characters to their hand. So if they don't know you're on this card, and they just say, dropped a 7-drop Big Mom against you last turn, they swing with their leader, that Big Mom's the only thing they've got, they got to bounce it back to their hand. That's maybe not the best scenario for you, but that's an attacker you don't got to deal with. It's anything active. If they only have 1 active character, they have to return that 1. Once they know you're on it, people play around it, but that still changes their gameplay, gives you an advantage. They've got to play around that at all times. And then on the removal, I'm only running a 2-2 split, being 2 Red Rock and 2 Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. Red Rock being a 6-drop, place up to 1 character at the bottom of the owner's deck, no cost limit. Just, your opponent spent say you're going to Dofi, they drop a 10-drop Dofi, bot deck, their turn's wasted. Maybe not wasted, but it's a lot of value. And then Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, actually the reason that I managed to take down Black Yellow Luffy in the end. They shore themselves up with 2 Sabo, bot deck them. I have about 3 guys on board. They couldn't counter out of it. But that's the entire deck list for Hannyabal. Like I said, this was something completely from scratch. Any kind of comments, any kind of feedback, any of you guys have any ideas, we'd love to hear them.
Was there anything in there that you'd want to change or no?
The only thing that I've thought about changing is the ulti for the blocker ace that's on play, draw 2, put 2 on the bottom or top, just for more stacking. But sometimes the ulti being able to play it earlier I feel like is better. Worst case scenario, you add its deck thinning, even if it's not a card you want. You either get 3 cards from out of your way to the bottom. Well, 2 cards if you add the 1, but either way you get your deck thinned out. You set up for Sanji, if you can remember. Really, X-Drake's better for that because he's 5 cards ahead. Personal preference, but I think ulti is better in the long run just where she's cheaper.
Alright, well, that's the deck list. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And if there's any other deck ideas you'd like to see, let us know. We are interested in making some decks.
Yeah, well, I built Hannyabal, so you throw an idea at me and I'll probably build it.
All right. Well, we hope to see you on the next video.
Adios.
Bye bye.